We're back. That's right, Jason and I, we're
Yes.
back. And nothing can stop us here at Attack of the Killer podcast. Not tornadoes,
Nope.
COVID, or even the Hong Kong Kumite Fighting Championship.
I'm so happy
Nothing
you won
could-
that bad boy, too.
I know, right?
Who'd have thought?
I'm wearing the belt right now.
Impressive.
Nothing could slow us down. Not even evil doctors can stop us. Or will they? Find out on this episode of Attack of the Killer podcast.
Attention planet Earth and beyond. Stay tuned for Attack of the Killer Podcast. 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 Yay.
What's happening, peeps? Welcome to another episode of Attack of the Killer podcast. I'm your host and Kumite Fighting Champion, Insane Mike. This is episode 260, and we will be talking about horror movies featuring evil doctors. Jason and I are back after missing last episode, and sorry for missing the show, everybody, but I did listen. You
Yeah.
guys did an awesome job in our absence.
They really did.
So great job, thank you. But we're back in full form and ready to kick some ass. It is a bummer though, because I have a ton of notes for the last
Yeah.
episode, and it sucks that I just had to scrap them. And most
Part two,
certainly,
man. Part two.
oh yeah, that's true. I could have used them for that, but I most certainly didn't repurpose any of them for this episode. For those of you who are not familiar with Canon Films, they are now a defunct American film.
Come on.
Oh, oops. Hold on. Scroll. If this is your first time listening to our show, Attack of the Killer podcast is a horror movie podcast where a group of friends, we get together with a topic and discuss films within that topic. We're all just friends sitting around talking about movies like we would any other day. So there's probably going to be spoilers, just to warn you. If you like what you hear and want even more Attack of the Killer podcast in your life, you should become an attacker. An attacker is a supporter of the show that gets you a lot more content than just a regular listener. Your support helps keep the show going and growing. As a way of thanking you for your support and getting you'll end up getting so much more of the show. You can get like bonus episodes. You get our different video series like video updates, killer critiques, Insane Mike's 1 Minute Top 10 list. You can also get your own membership card, certificate, and sticker. And you can also get a shout out on the show, just like our newest attacker, Abe Kirshner. Did I say his last name right?
Yeah, you nailed it like you always do.
Yes. Awesome. Welcome, Abe.
Abe.
Welcome to being an attacker. Finally, an attacker. You can hear Abe on the Brett and Tony podcast right here on the Prescribed Films Podcast Network. But thank you, Abe, for supporting the show, and now you are one of us.
It's done. We'll make her one of us. A loving cup. We accept her one of us.
Gooba gobble, gooba gobble.
We accept her. Google gobble. One of us. Google gobble.
You too can get a shout out on the show and so much more. Just go to jointheattackers.com, sign up for the tier of the stuff you want, and get all that cool stuff. Again, that's jointheattackers.com.
That's what Abe did. He wants to be a monster.
Yeah, so I'll get to it eventually there, Abe.
There's so many attackers.
Every time I feel like I'm getting caught up. But it's one of those good things about being behind, you know,
Mhm.
because like this means more attackers. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to introduce you to the podcast crew. To quote this person, I believe maybe from the last episode, this is usually when Mike has a really good joke about somebody, unquote. Tad, everybody.
Hey, happy to not be hosting.
Yes. Oh.
After last episode, he will never watch a Klaus Kinski movie on Father's Day again. Andy.
Nope. Close their burns. They're done.
I just love how that killed the show. Just reached it to a halt. It was so funny. Okay. The doctor gave him 6 months to live, so he shot him, and the judge gave him 50 years. Problem solved. Jason, everybody.
Oh my, I don't math jokes. I don't know. But hey, it's so great to be back and hanging out with you turds.
Yeah, and it's great to have you back. And it's great to be back, too. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Shudder, you guys heard about it? So, it's pretty cool. It's the premier streaming service serving fans of all things horror. Shudder has the best selection of new and old films, series, documentaries, and original content.
Sounds like everything.
It is everything. You can get your first month of Shudder for free thanks to the good old folks here at Attack of the Killer Podcast.
I'm sorry, Mike. It sounded like you said free.
I did say free. That's better than
I
spending money.
came back wanting to just ruin your scripts all to hell.
That's your new motivation.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. So just enter our promo code AOTKP and get your first month of Shudder for free and not spend the money for 1 month.
Take 1 week off. Jesus Christ.
I know, right?
Okay, so if Tad thinks he got out of all of his responsibilities, think again. Here's Tad with what we watched.
All right, no excuses this time because you guys have had extra long. So I'm going to start with you guys. Mike, what have you watched?
Well, I did get a chance to watch
Oh my.
quite a bit. I did a top 10 list of the top 10 films I watched while I was sick. And it was only 10. It was a tough list to do because I made sure it was ones I actually stayed awake for the whole time.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm not going to do that list. I'm going to do a much shorter list. I have recently rewatched Nightlight.
Yeah.
Which I rewatched it so I could do an episode of Killer Critiques about it because I love the movie and I love the filmmakers. They're friends of ours, Brian Woods and Scott Beck, the guys who wrote Quiet Place and the writer-directors of Haunt. And I feel like not enough people either know about this movie or give it enough credit because it just kind of gets lost in the shuffle of found footage movies and the overabundance of found footage movies. And even if you watch their commentary track, they keep coming back to that term found footage, but I call BS on it. It is not, to me, it's not a found footage movie. It has that aesthetic because the whole movie is from the perspective of a flashlight through the whole movie. And I dig the concept of
More of a POV film.
yeah, of doing more of a POV film or just doing something different, and not for the sake of doing something different either. It actually ties into what's going on in the film. So recommend Nightlight.
I know we're
Check it
super
out.
biased, but it really is good. It's
Yes,
a great little movie.
really, really good. For more info on that, check out my Killer Critiques episode on it. And if you don't know what I'm talking about there, go to jointheattackers.com. I did also get to watch Jackass Forever.
Yay!
Awesome. Love them, boy. Man, I wish I would have saw it in the theater. I say that every time, but
Now 4.5's coming to Netflix next
Really?
next month,
Oh,
May.
awesome.
sweet. I can't wait. Cannot wait. The ending made me sad though a
Oh,
little
yeah.
bit when they did the little Ryan Dunn thing, and it also just made me realize how and they're showing all the old footage of all the Jackass guys, and it's interesting that in this movie Jackass Forever, none of the CKY guys are part of it anymore. I mean,
Right.
Bam is in there in one scene, and that whole mess with the lawsuit and everything. But none of those other guys are there, and
Right.
it's really interesting. I don't know. It just makes me wonder: did they just didn't want to do it anymore, or are they still in Bam's camp and didn't? I don't know. It's just interesting. Also just watched one, a newer film. God, what did I watch it on? I think Shudder. The Girl Who Got Away. Has anybody seen that one yet?
Oh,
No.
No.
I think it's this year. I think it just came out this year, or maybe it was from last year. I don't remember, but it was all right. The premise is pretty cool because it's about this girl who escaped this like torturous woman that was killing children and stuff, and now in her adult life, and the person that had like kidnapped her and tortured her and kept her captive and everything just escaped from prison. So so interesting premise, and I don't remember the actor's name, but one of the things that got me to watch it was the actor that plays the leader of the group in Peacemaker, the one that ended up being one of the butterflies. Anybody know what I'm talking about?
Okay, the actor that plays the leader of the group,
Yeah.
the black guy.
Yeah.
Okay,
That guy. He played.
Oh,
Yeah, you don't even have to worry about
I
trying
can't
to remember
place.
his
I
name.
can't place his name.
But he was in it, and he's like the second lead of the film, so it was really cool seeing him in
cool.
something else. So, and the last thing I'll mention, because I just watched this Sunday night actually, Metal Lords on Netflix.
Oh, how was
I've
it?
been wanting to see that.
Oh, it was so much fun.
Wow.
I mean, I think I'm a
I saw it.
sucker. What's that?
I said the wife saw it. I was.
Yeah, it's pretty
haven't seen
cool.
it.
I'm curious. I'm always curious. Anytime I watch a movie, especially a fictionalized movie about musicians, I'm always curious to know your perspective on it, Jason. Especially since the lead character of it is the drummer of the band.
Ah, cool.
So, if you call it a band,
Right.
That's almost as bad as the bass player being the subject.
Right.
but it was definitely an interesting take on the and I thought it was funny and pretty cool. I would recommend it. And I mean, I'm a sucker for you know kids trying to start a band, especially if it's like a metal band or whatever. So actually what happened was I was like sitting there like, what do I want to watch? And I clicked on Lords of Chaos for the 100th time. And I'm like, why don't I watch Metal Lords? I keep seeing it there on Netflix. And if I want to watch something about a metal band, how about watching something a lot more fun? So I definitely recommend it.
Like Deathgasm.
Yes. That's what I watched.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we'll kick it over to Jason. I hope that he's watched some stuff in the last couple weeks.
I have. Have you guys heard of this movie called The Batman? Oh man, I watched it again. Oh, so good.
Now that it's streaming everywhere, you can
I streamed it.
spend another 6 hours.
3. Come on. It
But you
goes by-
probably watched it twice, right?
Yeah, man, it's so good. So fucking good.
Still need to see it.
They just announced a sequel like an hour ago.
What,
Yeah.
for real?
Yep.
I saw this fun little movie called X.
Oh, damn
Fuck
it.
yeah.
Did
Cy West.
you see it in the theater or is it streaming anywhere?
It's streaming now.
Streaming.
Okay.
Yep. That's pretty fucking awesome. I didn't watch any trailers. I didn't know anything about it other than you guys trying to not spoil things. And it's pretty great.
Did you stay all the way through the credits?
You dang right I did.
Good.
Yep. Fantastic. Loved it. I watched there's a Tony Hawk documentary on Hulu, Until the Wheels Fall Off. It's like 3 hours long.
Ooh, I wanna
But
see
it was
that.
great. Just
I
kind
wanted
of
to check that out too.
it's really good and
You know what I thought
it's
about?
kind of tough in there and it's good.
I thought just I hate to interrupt you, but I'm gonna. Anyway.
No, that's fine.
You know what I was thinking about just the other day.
What?
You remember the Ohio Skate Out
Oh yeah.
video? I want to watch that again. So so I'm kind of interested
That's
in this
what-
Tony Hawk doc.
Oh yeah.
Check out.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, check out the documentary "All This Mayhem" about the two Australian brothers who were skateboarders, and one of them ended up being a murderer.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, it was on Netflix like years ago, and I remember it being really, really good, but I can't place the brothers' names. But I know that they kind of grew up like in a tough neighborhood in Australia, and they were at one time like the the top skateboarders in the world. I mean, they were neck and neck with Tony Hawk, both of them.
Sounds like we have enough to do a skateboard episode, skateboard
Yeah.
horror.
But Tony Hawk, though, not a murderer.
No,
No,
It's just
no.
great,
But
though.
they do have problems with Tony Hawk, and they discuss that in the documentary.
Just because me and my friends, we started a little skateboarding group, and it really was right around the time as Bones Brigade and Pal Peralta, and we watched all them videos and had them all, and we just had been in it from that beginning to, and got all the magazines, and it was such a giant part of my life.
it's funny that Mike brought up BAM, because I saw BAM with the Element skate team at Rampage Skate Park when I was a teenager.
Hell yeah.
And I was heavy into that. We would drive 2 hours to Rampage, and I mean, we would go on the ramps. We couldn't do shit on them, but it was cool because we were like 14. Our moms would drive us up there for someone's birthday. We'd skate for hours on end, and then go to Hooters for dinner, and then come back. And we thought it was. I mean, that's a quintessential Saturday. So
Yeah, it's a dumb little brag, and I feel bad. I'm dumb doing it. But yeah, right when he started his Birdhouse line, he was doing demos, and he came to Cedar Rapids, and our little skateboard group that grew up watching him got to skate with him and his whole crew. And
that's not a dumb brag at all. That's fucking awesome.
Dude, it was
Very
fucking
awesome.
It was, because you go to them skate parks. I don't know if you did. I know you did, but like, you see the big ramps and you're just like, sure. But then when you see someone really fucking do it in person, you're just like
using them,
fucking
to their full potential.
Mind blown. Anyway, it was incredible.
Awe-inspiring.
I also watched The French Dispatch. I loved it. And then I don't.
I still haven't seen it. It's on my list, but I don't know, man. Like, I love Wes Anderson, everything, but
love Wes Anderson and everything.
It's just sort of, I don't know, something about it.
But there's something about it. It's almost too much. Just too much Wes Anderson. I don't know if I'm with. Yeah, I didn't. That's what put me off from watching it for a while, because I was nervous about it being too much. And what you're saying, just that hesitancy and
now somewhere,
it's great.
Brett and Tony are yelling.
I know they hollered at me to get to watch it, and I feel bad. I like it because it's great, and it's a master class in cinematography always, but is it in storytelling? I don't know. But then, so I also I'm trying to go fast. I went kind of crazy on Apple TV, and I've watched 3 series on there. The one I definitely want to talk about the most is, if you haven't seen it yet, there's one called Severance.
I want to see it so bad, but I don't have Apple TV, man.
Yeah, we'll talk after this. Stars Adam Scott. It's produced, directed, I think, by Ben Stiller.
Yep.
But it's so fucking amazing and weird and cool and funny and scary. The simple premise is we're just at a point in life where they've invented the technology that they can sever your memory when you go to work. And basically think of it like when you go in the elevator to go to work and you come out and you are a new person. You have no memories of your outside life. And so once you go into work, you are fresh and clean and it goes both ways. And
you leave your work at work, and
you leave your work at work. But so the fucked up thing is I think the things they do at work aren't necessarily on the up and up, because there's no,
of course not.
Because there's no more. They
no moral attachment. Yeah,
right. They almost kind of implant a different, not religion, but they can do whatever they want. It's amazing.
There's no moral compass whatsoever.
Exactly, and so they make dumb little mundane things like the greatest accomplishments of all time. The jobs they make them do are just like, what is this? Are you just sheep are you just a mouse in a? It's so
lemmings.
Yeah, it's crazy, and it really makes you, just that. And the people who do it usually have a traumatic thing that happened to them, and just want to like be able to shut the brain off for at least 8 hours, kind of thing. That's the
I was gonna say, what if they get like an emergency call at work and they need,
yeah,
they need to leave?
and they can't. Yeah, so it's really bizarre. It's really smart. It's really cool and amazing. I watched some. I've done enough talking, but yeah, I've been going kind of Apple TV crazy, and that's
Yeah, I don't
definitely-
know if I want to watch that because I struggle with like that sometimes, like coming home mad from work or the opposite, and let stuff affect me, and I'm like, that might be like even more meta than like I might want that badly. So
I
Yeah, it sounds good, but I can definitely I can only
show
imagine too. There's a lot of bad.
gets to the point of why maybe it's not good.
oh, I imagine,
So
yeah,
it's
it'd be
really
boring if it
great.
didn't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
All
what,
right.
That's what I watched.
Andy, what have you watched?
I was on a Ty West kick, so I watched The Innkeepers, with Kelly McGillis, where they're all in that bed and
Innkeepers.
closing. Well, Innkeepers, Jeepers.
You were right. You were right. He's just being an asshole. Go ahead.
Innkeepers.
Yeah, referencing.
And you're right about that too, Ted. He was.
Aren't you glad I'm back?
It's. I'm gonna keep talking.
That's your best bet.
The Kelly McGillis with her Crystal. Not my favorite Ty West film, but I don't dislike it. I'm glad I have it in my collection. I mean, is it his first film?
No,
No,
The
it's-
Roost.
Yeah.
Was
Is
Roost?
yeah.
I have not seen that.
I'm sorry. Did you was this your first time watching it, or have you seen it before?
It had been like years and years ago. So
It's-
we're talking like a span of 7 or 8 years.
It's one that grew on me. I can remember the first time watching it, hating it, and then I watched it again, liked it a little bit more, and then like by the third time I've seen it, it's probably my favorite Ty West movie.
Oh wow. I'm a House of the Devil guy.
Yeah,
I'm a
it's
Cabin
true. It's,
Fever 2 guy.
I still can't.
Come
I've kept trying to redeem Cabin Fever 2, and I can't. I shut it off every time.
I too also watched X. Loved it. I love the fact that they kept everything time oriented. And since they kept everything time oriented, I was paying hyper attention. It's 1979, correct? I love the fact that they have like, the Blues Brothers cop cars out front, cop tires, cop suspension, blah, blah, blah. But I did notice that the plates on their van that they're driving, the plowing thing, which I thought was hilarious. They are 1974, so he needs to get those switched up. But that's me nitpicking, and I'm only nitpicking because I was paying so much attention because I was loving all the detail
Well,
that went into the movie.
Better than them being like too new, right?
Yeah, exactly. But absolutely love the dual performance by was it Mia Goth?
Yeah.
Is her
Yes,
name?
and I am an
Yeah.
idiot and did not realize it until like I read an article afterwards. I love being an idiot watching movies because I never catch on to
I
things.
didn't know it either.
Yeah.
I didn't know it either. I thought, just all around. I won't stay too long on this movie. Like the overhead shots when people are in the lake or whatever, the pond or whatever.
Oh man.
Granted, there's she's naked, but I mean, just the
What symbolizes
the tense.
summarizes the plot of the whole movie. Just
Yeah.
age and it's coming to get you for everybody, and oh man.
Yeah, and just the tenseness of her not knowing like a giant friggin' alligator. Just oh my god, just shot beautifully. Absolutely loved it. Finally watched Jojo Rabbit.
Yay!
I thought it was such a good time. The more I watch of Taika Waititi's stuff, I absolutely love this guy as
Oh, yeah.
just
Mm-hmm.
as a writer, as a director, just as a person. I just think he would just be a guy that I would want to hang around with, dude.
Hell
Taika
yeah.
Waititi is just a fucking awesome dude. And the wife and I just finished the last episode of the first season of Our Flag Means Death. I highly recommend you watch that show on HBO Max. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I've
Watch,
been really
watch,
wanting
watch.
to watch it. Yeah.
And I also watched the Leviathan documentary on Hellraiser 2. That's very informative. And I also watched Hellraiser Bloodline for the first time.
Oh.
How'd that
And
I was gonna say, you had that cricket sound, Jason?
feel? Yeah.
it's okay. I will say this:
Uh-huh.
it is Hellraiser. Let's see. How do I phrase this correctly? Hellraiser Inferno makes Hellraiser Bloodline look like Hellraiser 1. Do not watch Hellraiser Inferno.
No.
Just
No, that's
No.
hot garbage.
that is the word. I would rather watch Revelations. What's the one with like the real heavy set pinhead, with like the double pin chin. I would rather watch that one.
Pin chin.
It's a new
What would you
soundbite.
call it?
Yeah.
Double
Um,
pin chin. I love it.
Yeah, I haven't even seen that one, and I would rather watch that than Inferno. Inferno is like a fucking war crime. That movie is that. Ooh, shit, that's in Clowntergeist territory. I would almost say.
Oh wow.
But anyway, that is what I watch, and I highly recommend.
So
Our
wait,
Flag
you
Means
said
Death.
you watched Bloodline and then went straight into talking about nothing but how much you hate Inferno.
Well, you guys were, your guy is giving me guff about, the crickets about Bloodline.
Oh,
but
I
was-
definitely wasn't giving you guff because I'll tell you what, I think I'm probably one of the few, but I love Bloodline. I think
I
it's
didn't
better
mind
than
it.
it's better than 3. It's probably my third favorite
I would watch
Hellraiser
3
movie.
over. I would watch. I kind of liked 3. I mean, I think the trilogy is like pretty much the only ones worth watching, in my opinion.
I like Bloodlines. I like the idea of like this family curse involved with the
Yeah,
and seeing them through the decades.
And you've kind of got and Adam Scott, since we were talking about him, he's
Yeah,
actually
yep.
in that movie, and you've got Kim Myers from Nightmare 2.
Yes.
Jesse's girlfriend, which I can't remember her character name. But anyway, that's what I watch, and watch Our Flag Means Death because it's hilarious.
Hey, Tad, what'd you watch?
Oh man, you guys! I haven't watched a lot, but I watched some really awesome stuff. On the 21st of April, it is Fog Day, so I watched John Carpenter's The Fog rewatched.
That's what you do.
A yearly tradition. And then I saw 2 fantastic movies in theaters. We have like the best lineup in theaters right now in the last several years. It's been a long 2 years without a great opportunity. It's almost too much. I saw on Friday, I saw The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent,
Oh
the
man.
Nick Cage movie where Nick Cage plays Nick Cage.
Yeah. I see it so bad.
The basic premise, if you guys have, I
I don't know what you're talking about.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay, so the basic premise is this really rich guy. Nick Cage is playing himself. He's actually like current day Nick Cage, where he's having a hard time turning down roles. His career's not doing the best. There's sort of a short renaissance, but he's needing some money to. He's separating from his wife. It's a little bit fictionalized. He's separating from his wife. His daughter sort of hates him because he's working all the time and he needs some quick money. And this rich guy says, he gets a hold of his agent, who's played by Neil Patrick Harris, and says, I want Nick Cage at my birthday party and I'll give him like a couple $1 million. And Nick is like, I would never do that. And then he reconsiders after a few situations happen. And he shows up at this guy's place, and it turns out that, and this isn't a spoiler, this is all the basic premise, that this guy is actually like a sort of crime boss, and the FBI uses Nick Cage as an informant.
Uh-huh.
The FBI agents are Tiffany Haddish and I'm drawing a blank on the other guy's name, but and Nick basically has to sort of like act his way through this situation. So it's really cool. He talks. There's a second version of Nick Cage in the movie from Wild at Heart, where he is like they de-age him and he fights with himself. He makes out with himself. He argues with himself, like as it's his subconscious playing, but he plays his own subconscious. And there's references to all of Nick's movies throughout. It's very
Must be
awesome.
a really long movie then.
It's very, very meta. It's very unique, very funny. It's probably like it's a comedy, but it also has some very heavy stuff. But really, really cool way they filmed it. It's in theaters right now. It's just fantastic. I'm trying to think of. I'm like stalling because I'm trying to think of the other actor. Pedro Pascal is the rich guy. Plays the rich guy. Yeah, Tiffany Haddish. Ike Barinholtz is the other FBI agent. So yeah, he's hilarious. So it's all-star cast. He plays himself. It's very meta because apparently the director is a big Nick Cage fan, and he wrote this film to make a film with Nick Cage. And in the movie, the guy is like, the guy who hires him is basically writing a movie for Nick Cage and uses this excuse to have him come for the birthday party so he can pitch him a film.
It's too funny.
Yeah, so it's really, really good. Nick Cage is fantastic in it. He makes fun of himself. He laughs at himself, but also it's not a parody of Nick Cage. It celebrates Nick Cage. It celebrates every aspect of when he was considered a great dramatic actor down to when he was at his worst, and really, really cool tribute. And then I saw something on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, and it is Robert Eggers' new movie, The Northman.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, this guy did The Lighthouse and The Witch, and now the Focus Features gave him a massive budget, and he went balls to the volcano for real. Like there's a naked a naked sword fight on a volcano, an erupting volcano. This cast,
As we've always dreamed it.
Yeah, this shit's crazy. It has Alexander Skarsgård as the lead. It has Nicole Kidman, Ethan Hawke, and Anya Taylor-Joy. Willem Dafoe, just incredible, cast of people. Bjork is in it. It's wild, man. It's basically a Viking tale of revenge, but it's done in Robert Eggers style, where it's probably too accurate to the time period, and sometimes it makes you laugh. I don't know if it's intended. There's like farts and belches and swinging dicks and. He's sort of a unique guy, but it was cool as hell. It's very, very, very violent and grimy and gross and a trip, and it's visually stunning and some fantastic performances. I'm guessing we'll see it come back around award season with cinematography at least, and some of the performances. Just a gorgeous, epic film. Something I would say out of those two. I mean, obviously, depends on your mood. I would say The Northman is something you need to see in theaters just because of its scope. It's like just huge, awesome Viking film. And I hate that era. I cannot stand Viking Knight stuff. And I think this and The Green Knight would make the coolest fucking double feature of all time. But
wow.
Yeah, cool to see Robert Eggers go from he did The Lighthouse with basically two people in the whole movie. And now he's like got a fuck you budget and did this epic Viking tale, and it's fucking awesome and wild, and it's just it's awesome. Go check it out. That's what I watched.
Fine.
But before I go on, go watch Everything Everywhere All at Once. I will plug it until I die. So yeah,
that's on my list too. Damn it. All right, thanks, Tad. Okay, listeners, sure hope you have your fingers ready for some action.
That's awkward.
It is time to get on Twitter and vote for the right answer, mine, to this episode's question. Here's Jason with pole position.
From now on, Like your parents were, you are the secret force of pole position.
All right, we're going to take a quick look back at the last poll we had up for episode 258. What are the best horror subgenres? And we went crazy on this one and went 3 rounds. Do y'all remember your answers? Fine, I'll tell you. Insane Mike said comedy, found footage, and zombie. Man, those are good.
Thanks.
Jason said gore, monster, religious. Excellent choices. Tad said slasher, psychological, and body. That's really good. And then Andy says crazy redneck, home invasion, isolation. Excellent answers. Well, guys, I got to tell you, there's winners and losers here. And with 6%, we got a lot of votes too. 6%. Andy, I'm sorry, pal. You're out first. And in third place, I couldn't get to the cricket sound. In third place, oh no, Insane Mike, 25%.
Bullshit. I mean, okay. Can't win them all. There's definitely
true.
some really good
And
answers out there. Yes.
Pretty close here on the second and first place, but
Hard to beat the slashers.
I know, but I did with 38% of the vote.
Woo!
Tad with 31%. That was close. It was a good fight. And I can't believe slashers didn't take it all. But yeah. So sorry,
Awesome.
I'm okay with it.
Tad. You win every single
I'll
other
say I'll
one.
win the next one, so it's all good.
Well, let's see how today goes. All right, we got a pretty fun one this time. What are your favorite horror movie doctors? Horror movie doctors. We're gonna do 2 round snake draft version. I'm gonna do the random sequence generator. Mike's 1, I'm 2, Tad's 3, Andy's 4. Let's hit the button, see what order we're going in. I'm nervous. Son of a... Okay, so... Insane Mike's got the first and 8th pick.
Yes.
Ooh. Jason's got the 2nd and 7th pick. And Andy has... 3rd and 6th, and then Tad's on the turn with the 4th and 5th. So Insane Mike.
Okay, so just to
The
clarify,
101.
horror movie doctors doesn't necessarily have to be evil doctors, right?
I think.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's your game you're playing. I mean, how do you want to lose?
Yeah, that's right.
It sounds like you need to go see a doctor.
That's right.
I just want clarification before I say and steal it from everyone else.
Okay, go ahead.
Uh-huh.
Dr. Loomis.
See,
Yep.
yeah, it was on the list.
I'm going for the
Damn.
damn votes this time.
He's
Suckers.
off my list.
Oh, well, I'll go ahead and just take the number 1 answer then, since that fell to me, and I'm going to go Herbert West.
Off the list.
Uh-huh. The real first. All right, so Andy.
God damn it.
There goes his 2. So
Yep, those are
Yeah.
his too.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna fucking win this thing now. Just so
He
I
had
can
more
have,
than 2, right? I hope you had
Yes, I
more.
yes
Okay,
I did.
thank
But
you.
just so I can
There's a
have
biggie
somebody
out
in.
there.
Yeah, I know, but I'll say Dr. Frankenstein.
There
Yep,
you
That's a
go.
good one. All right, Ted, you get the 4th and 5th pick.
that's tough. I have a huge list still.
Me too.
Me too.
I got a few more in my head.
But I'm picking who I think people would actually vote for.
Good luck with that.
I'm going to go with Dr. Hannibal Lecter.
Uh-huh.
Good
Nice.
pick.
And then one that I just thought of, Dr. Satan.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah, that's
I
right.
didn't have that on my list.
Dr.
either.
Satan. Yeah, I just saw House of Thousand Corpses again the other night, and he's fresh on my mind. So
Andy, you're up. Pick 6.
Okay, I want to get somebody that they might want to vote for, but God damn it, my heart is saying,
Mhm.
uh, oh,
Your heart said that?
Oh, I think you need to see a doctor.
yeah, I need, I will say, what's the more popular one in my head here? Dr. Moreau.
Yep, it was on my list.
Yeah, that was on mine too. Yeah.
Well, I'm so happy that my next two fell to me, and I have to make a choice here.
I will say this. You can take this one if you want it, but I doubt you will. But I wanted to mention somebody from the Halloween franchise. I was damn near going to say Dr. Wynn from Halloween 5, Halloween 6,
Yep.
Man in Black.
Yep.
That's, I mean,
Way
yeah,
to
that would
ruin
be
it, yeah.
a fair chance to lose. So
Yeah, I know, but it was just like I wanted
needed the
somebody from
crickets again.
Halloween.
Oh, I know. So I'm going to go with a doctor that isn't necessarily a bad guy, but he's hands down just one of of all the characters on this list is one of my favorite, one of the greatest movies on this list easily. I'm going
I
with
knew it.
Seth Brundle.
Yeah, he's on my list too.
okay.
Oh yeah.
That's
I'd say
right.
He's taken over. You know, there's a point where he's very evil.
Yep. His experiments backfire and do bad things. People die. Yep.
Of an arm wrestler.
Hell of an arm wrestler. And a wall climber. All right, Mike, finish it off. Pick 8. Oh,
All
there's
right.
some good ones here still.
I'm going with Dr. Frankenfurter.
Oh, I should have
Should have
known.
known.
That's
so many
good.
more.
Did
I
we go
almost
for
said-
round? I would say round 3.
Oh, no, well, let's stop there. But
I've got-
Dr. Giggles.
Dr. Giggles
Yep,
was the
Dr.
first one.
Giggles was on my list, yeah.
Dr. Caligari.
Absolutely.
Oh, I forgot about Dr. Caligari. I had
Dr. Demento.
He's
He's
not in a horror
movie. I'd put Dr. Fibes on mine.
Oh, nice.
Dr.
Oh,
Frederick
duh.
Frankenstein.
Yes. Very good.
There's Dr. Jekyll. Always.
Yep, Dr.
And then,
Jekyll was on mine.
I had a sneaky
From
one.
Frankenhooker, Dr. Jeffrey.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
that's good.
Oh, damn it! I can't think of his last name.
Just Frank?
Jersey Boy.
Yeah, just call him Jersey Boy. Yeah.
Fun sneaky one that Michael love. Mary Mason from American Mary.
Oh, I thought of putting her on my list, but I didn't. Yeah.
All right. Yo, we got more.
Oh, yeah, I got
All
a
day.
couple more. These are for Brian. Dr. Butcher, MD,
Oh, sure.
and Mad Doctor of Blood Island.
Well, all right. Get your butts over to Twitter and vote for who you think picked the best horror movie doctors, and that is Pole Position.
All right. It's time to talk about some movies,
Yeah,
guys.
let's do that.
I mean, we are a horror movie podcast, right? So we should probably talk about some horror movies. Andy, what is our first Evil Doctor movie?
Our first Evil Doctor movie comes to us from 1989, and it is called The Dead Pit.
The mind, a place of infinite mystery. When the mind strays, it can become a place of fear.
You're next.
Jane Doe is a victim of amnesia.
I can't remember my past. That doesn't make me crazy.
Here at State Hospital, they will unlock the doors to her hidden past.
I have a terrible sense of danger here.
Now, something powerful and terrifying will be released from the dead. When the mind of Jane Doe is opened,
Colin Ramsey has come back from the other side of death.
a terror long buried rises to life.
He's come back for revenge.
And he's come for me.
Think your last thought. You can't kill me.
And only the ones called insane are able to see the truth.
Death is near.
You're all going down!
The distance between the depths of a damaged mind and the depths of hell is no greater than the thickness of a door. And now, the door is open. The Dead Pit, where man's worst nightmare rises from the dead.
Okay, Dr. Ramsey, a deviant who enjoys torturing his patients, is killed by a fellow doctor and buried in the basement of a mental health facility. 20 years later, the hospital is up and running again, and a Jane Doe arrives at the institute with amnesia. Upon her arrival, a major earthquake rocks the building, unearthing the now undead Dr. Ramsey with his legion of zombie patients who are eager to help him continue his work. Okay.
Wow. All right.
It was gory enough, but I think like the version that I was watching, sometimes I couldn't understand a freaking word anybody was saying. I'll rewind a little bit. I remember seeing this back like on video stores because this is one of
the great VHS boxes of all time.
the absolutely, because it had like this. It had like, I'm assuming what appears to be Dr. Ramsey, it in a very ghoulish face, and it had the glowing red eyes for lights on the VHS cover, much like you see in the film, and that was kind of the gimmick. And it falls in the lines of like the Metamorphosis tape, or the Talking Frankenhooker tape, or the Talking Elvira tape too. I think there's one of those out there too. Yeah, it's just the doctor played by Dr. Swan, played by Jeremy Slate. He eventually shoots this Dr. Ramsey, and then he dry putties the wall shut where he killed all these people. I mean, there's never really a concrete. Well, you don't need a concrete explanation of how he's reanimating these people, but we don't even get like even the vaguest sense of how the hell he's doing it. He's just like, well, I've got formaldehyde. Well, okay, that, helps preserve them for a while, when they're still dead, not when they're not, up and walking around, but okay, whatever. And then this, then this, like they said, this girl has a psychic link to this Dr. Ramsey, and these dead people that are, coming out, after 20 years being, locked away and seeking their revenge at this mental facility. And yeah, and of course mayhem ensues, and basically holy water, kills these people. And the one thing that really struck me is just like one of the nurses looks like really eerily resembles Tiffany Shepis to me. I mean, she just looked a lot like Tiffany Shepis. Obviously miniatures were used when they flooded that wing of the hospital. I mean, it's plain as day. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. I remember the Jeremy Slate guy as the preacher from Lawnmower Man, because it was the same guy who directed Lawnmower Man.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's gory enough. I mean, it gave me vibes of kind of like a Full Moon Feature kind of film. Did you guys get that? Like a Charles Band
I
kind
wouldn't
of.
say that bad, man. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not saying that it's bad. I mean, but I'm not saying it's great.
Well, I'm saying like if I'm saying it's a full moon Charles Band thing, that's an insult.
Oh,
That personally, I would use that as an insult.
okay. I don't know. I guess I wouldn't call it that. I said it kind of gave me vibes that way. Acting not the greatest. But it is what it is. I mean, I didn't hate it. I'm not in love with it. I mean, I could never watch it again, and I'd be okay. Um, I mean, I don't know. I guess that's my 2 cents. What did you guys think?
It was my first time watching it. I enjoyed it. It had some good nudity. It had some good violence, some gore, a ridiculous story. I don't know. Maybe my expectations were low. Mike's like lowered the bar so low
Right?
over the time that like when we get like a good like slate of 3 films that I'm like, okay, I could rock this. Like it's been a while since we had anything like this. So I don't know. I was like expecting something much worse because I had never even heard of this. I didn't remember the VHS box. I don't know. I thought it was okay. It was fine.
The fact that, I mean, like when you mentioned nudity, just like I felt like the dream sequence with that chick cackling and shooting her with the hose was just put in there for the sake of nudity, and the fact that this
And I
girl
accept
is, and yeah, I'm okay with that. But the more ridiculous thing is that these, as a mental health patient, that where she's staying, they're just letting her in. Her sleeping arrangement is white cotton panties and a cut-off T-shirt, in a mental facility that's co-ed. It just seems so damn absurd that they would allow her to wear that.
It seems extremely exploitive of her and her feminine wilds, but apparently, according to IMDb, on the Code Red DVD release of the film, the actress reveals why her character spends a portion of the movie in a tiny tank top and bikini panties. Apparently, the actress herself felt the normal-sized hospital gown made her look large, so she cut part of it off. And the more her outfit was washed, the more the gown shrunk and the underwear became tighter. So it's kind of her own fault. Like she did it to herself. You watch this movie and you think like, oh, they are really being exploitive with with her body in this outfit, but she was the one who did it. So, hey.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Jason.
I think I'm pretty much where Tad was, although I totally remember the cover and seeing it on the video shelves because I'm way old, Tad says. But yeah, really just 80s goodness. Crazy plot. I enjoyed the gore a lot.
There's some good gore, yeah.
Yeah, some really wacky, crazy shit. And that was definitely my favorite part. Otherwise, it was also just fucked up. It was just nuts of a movie, but not say I followed it super hard, but
Me too. Yeah, I fell in and out of it while I was watching it, but it didn't keep my attention, I will say, which is a bad sign. But it also wasn't like I wanted to turn it off. Bad.
Exactly. Totally worth watching.
I could see something like this being on The Last Drive-In, like
oh, for sure,
something that Joe Bob would have something good to talk about on. That would be a story like Mike just mentioned about the nightgown thing. That would be something Joe Bob would rant about for 15 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, I liked it. It wasn't anything. I had never seen this before either, but
oh really?
Yeah, exactly. I've
Wow.
never rented it, but I played with that box every time I was at the video store. I'd light up the eyes and all that stuff. I don't know why. I think I just at the time felt like the more gimmicky the box. I mean, it was I was in high school, blah blah blah. A little bit of a horror movie snob, and felt like the more gimmicky the box, the worse the movie actually was, and didn't have my full appreciation for that type of cinema back then that I do now. But it's not a bad movie.
No.
It's definitely low budget, which for the mid to late 80s lump of low budget direct to video films, it's got some cool stuff like the gore and everything, and I like the look of the evil Dr. Ramsey, with the bullet wound in his head and the glowing red eyes. It's a cool look. Could be maybe like could have been made into like maybe an iconic look of a killer for a franchise. If only the movie was a bit better. But it's weird, and I'm with you guys. Don't fully understand, grasp what was going on, but it felt like there was something missing that would make it stand out amongst the other films of its time period. It definitely doesn't have like a Frankenhooker appeal to it, or like a Street Trash, or
There's no humor, yeah.
or a bad
No.
taste or whatever. I mean, maybe that's what it is missing, the humor, because there's definitely a lot of weirdness. There's some gore, but I just feel like there's something missing that would make this more of a cult classic, like other films of its type from that era. I love the look of the film. I'm a sucker for super low budget 80s look. The thing though, I just looked it up, that blows my freaking mind. It was actually shot 35. I would have guessed like 16, but 35. I mean, it has a lesser film stock quality to it that I like. So to find out it was actually shot on 35, I don't know, maybe it was the type of cameras they were using or whatever, but
Or the lack of experience of who's using it.
maybe that too. Who knows?
Yeah, it's pretty
I mean, it
low
was still-
budget. Yeah.
Still shot, I think, competently, but it's just the film stock looked way lesser than 35 than I would have guessed.
And this can be viewed on Shudder.
That's right.
Use that promo code AOTKP.
That's right. Okay, Tad, what's our next movie?
Our next movie is a new one from 2021. It is False Positive.
So, you two need a little help. I will give you the best possible chance of getting pregnant. How does that sound?
That sounds great. Am I going to be one of those women who has it all? My career, my kids, my old man by my side?
Who are you calling old? You are 100% pregnant.
Welcome to the family. How are you? A little crazy. I'm seeing things.
Honey, me too. I'm having the wildest mommy brain lately.
I don't think it's mommy brain. I think Dr. Hindle did something. I think they're in on it.
In on what?
Dr. Hindle gives me a bad feeling. I want to see someone more natural.
There's a lot of voodoo out there. We just want to make sure that you get the best possible care.
Confront whatever it is that's blocking you from you.
I'm not crazy. They're trying to make me think I'm crazy.
Doing great, Lucy. Just push.
Hey, this pregnancy shit is no joke, right? Okay, it's really scary.
Brilliant.
Okay, False Positive. After months of trying and failing to get pregnant, Lucy and Adrian finally find their dream fertility doctor in the illustrious Dr. Hindle, played by Pierce Brosnan. But after becoming pregnant with a healthy baby girl, Lucy begins to notice something sinister through Hindle's gleaming charm, and she sets out to uncover the unsettling truth about him and her own birth story, as if getting pregnant weren't complicated enough. So, yeah, this is a modern film. I'm guessing this was something that was supposed to be put into theaters because it's from A24. Unfortunate name, timing-wise, coming out during a pandemic called False Positive.
Right.
But interesting to see, a comedic actress in Alana Glazer from, help me out here, the Comedy Central show. Thanks, guys.
I don't know.
I'm getting there. Sorry.
I don't watch it.
No, I'm looking it up. Well, she was in Rough Night the night before.
City.
Broad City, thank you, Jason. The night before, she's a stand-up comedian, and to have her like play a very, very serious role, and I think she was like a producer on this too,
And writer.
and a writer, a co-writer with the director John Lee. Interesting cast to see Pierce Brosnan play like a sinister doctor, really cool. I don't have any kids, and I don't need another reason not to ever want one, but here's another one.
Here's another reason.
Right. And it's like they should show this to kids in high school, like, don't get pregnant. I don't know, man. This has some pretty false positive, or you could say negative reviews online.
Really?
People aren't loving it. I thought it was pretty good. It was on my list for a long time. And of course that A24 logo at the beginning might be clouding me and Jason's judgment a little bit. But I didn't, maybe going into it with low expectations because of the negative reviews helped it out too. But I thought it was very well made, very good performances, freaked me out. Pierce Brosnan is a charming, evil motherfucker in this. Really cool. What'd you guys think?
Well, that's what's great about it, is that like it plays it pretty straight for quite a while. You just give just a hints of creepy vibe that you're like, something's up, right? Why are we watching this if not something's up? But they don't really give it away for quite a while, and I really liked that.
Slowly build it up, and it's like, oh, this is sort of a heartwarming movie, but it's not going to end well. So, yeah.
I agree with Tad on certain points. I think it's shot well. I think it's performed well. I think it looks really good, but I'm not. The story just seems like Lifetime movie channel with a budget to me. With a little bit of weirdness thrown in to make it a horror movie. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I need to give it another chance. I'm not saying that like the performances weren't really good, because they were. Pierce Brosnan. I love seeing Gretchen Mol and stuff.
Yeah, she's back again. That's great.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't know. It didn't really just draw me in. I mean, just because it's got A24 in front of it doesn't automatically make it like a great movie.
There's a reason it went to Hulu and not theaters or elsewhere. To be fair,
it's just I just feel like it's I don't know it. It didn't do much for me. It just didn't. I'm sorry. I can't really
you should be honest, and that's good to be honest about it.
You don't have to like it. I usually am. I mean, and I'm not running it down because it's not a bad movie, but it just feels
for you kind of thing.
Yeah, it feels too Lifetime for me. I mean, it's just like it feels like. Yeah, it's almost too bland. I mean,
and that could be the subject matter, probably, maybe some of that.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm definitely more on the other side. I enjoyed the hell out of it. The acting was great. Everyone was awesome in it.
Yeah.
Pierce was just unsettlingly nice, and I was like, gosh dang it. And then just the little things of like Gretchen Mol, she just dumped the lube on this thing, and then he'd just sit and rub it for a while. Like, what is happening? That's creepy. Quit it. But the
Gretchen Mol has no gag reflex. That's the best part of the movie.
Oh my god. But it was all. I mean, I liked it all, but the highlight for me was the A24 part of the movie, and I won't say it in a spoiler way, but at the moment near the end where she goes to the windows with the babies, I'm just like, I fucking loved that whole sequence.
Yep. Yeah.
God dang, because I'm just jaws on the floor. Like, did she? Oh my, it was so great. Oh man, I loved it. And then it was okay, but like, gosh, that to me that felt like the A24 moment of the movie, and I loved it so much.
And the climax, her all bloody going on a rampage, was awesome ending. I felt
for real. Yeah, no, I was pleasantly surprised. Mike, you haven't said shit. Why did you hate this movie?
Oh, why do you assume I hate it?
You were quiet.
I'm letting you guys talk. Yeah, not a big fan of this one.
Too normal and slow.
And I was going to ask if you could guess why I didn't like it.
Did.
I'm going to tell you you're wrong.
Oh.
I didn't really find it as slow as you probably would think I would find it. I was invested. I was invested in her. I was invested in what was going on. Pierce Bronson is, just creepy and charming as a motherfucker. It just felt way too Rosemary's Baby with nothing really new added to the mix. For me, it just kind of felt like connect the dots to the plot of Rosemary's Baby without me actually fully, at least with Rosemary's Baby, I understand what their intent was.
Well, luckily I've never seen Rosemary's Baby, so.
Ted,
oh, really?
Come on.
Oh, wow.
I know, it's on my list.
I know.
Gonna have to do a first time.
I know
it's on the first time list.
The main character, Adrian, is the same name as the baby fathered by Satan in Rosemary's Baby. Intentional.
Clear, yeah.
And that's the thing. Like it just felt. I don't want to say it was too predictable because I hate that. I hate saying something's negative because it's too predictable. But it felt like, again, connecting the dots to the same, storyline and plot of Rosemary's Baby. But at the end of this, I don't think I fully understand his motivation for what he did, our evil doctor in this. It just didn't make sense to me.
Really?
This whole plot of it, of him making more versions of himself? What?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. It just didn't seem like it.
It's the ultimate ego maneuver of all time.
Okay.
Bothering the new world.
I get it. I mean, I understand it.
It's not the most.
There should be more of me out there,
but
yeah. I do agree.
I mean, it's a
ending
nightmare of the situation of in vitro fertilization, right? Like, how do you know for real where this is coming from?
Yeah.
Like, that has to be a fear for all parents in general. So,
oh, sure, absolutely.
Place on that.
But and I'll say the ending stuff was pretty cool. Although I was a little bummed out after the window thing
that it wasn't right. Sure.
And it's like, you could just ended it there, and that'd have been cool and disturbing. But yeah. I mean, it kept going, and so I'm not going to say that I hated it. I was invested. I didn't ever want to turn it off. I wasn't watching my watch or anything because I don't have a watch. But yeah, definitely not my favorite A24 film.
Not mine either, but
yeah. So yeah, I'm just kind of, I guess, thumbs down, but I didn't hate it. Jason, what's our last movie?
Oh man, we're in for a doozy. It's from 1988. How many? Okay, I can't read my writing here. It's one of my favorite sequels of all time. It's Hellbound, Hellraiser 2.
vision is renewed. The power is reawakened. The fear is reborn. Because they have returned.
Time to play.
Hellbound, Hellraiser 2. Brace yourself for terror you have never imagined.
And your suffering will be legendary even in hell.
And horrors you can never escape.
And you wanted to know. Now you know.
Last year, they brought hell to Earth. Now, they'll take you through hell. Hellbound, Hellraiser 2. Time to play.
Confined to a mental hospital, young Kirsty Cotton insists her supposedly dead father is stuck in hell, controlled by sadomasochistic demons after being betrayed by his evil, occult-obsessed wife, Julia. Few believe Kirsty, except the thrill-seeking Dr. Channard, who is intrigued by S&M and the young woman's lurid stories. So when Kirsty and fellow patient Tiffany head to hell for a rescue, Channard and Julia are close behind. Directed by Tony Randall. Amazing score. Back again, Christopher Young. This movie's awesome.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Oh, please. Is it critiquing how I read that?
No, you're I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, good.
But I wanted to say this after the trailer because I'm over here laughing my ass off to myself because as soon as I heard the trailer, it all come flooding back to me. In the Gore Gang high school movie making days, I made a trailer to one of our films called Gut Reactions 2. And I used a lot of audio from this trailer for our trailer, and yeah, and just hearing it again, it just brings back my trailer I made, and it's just funny. I cut out like all the dialogue and then all the movie dialogue, and just used the narration of the trailer, and anytime you would mention the title of the movie, I'd cut that out too. But like. Just hearing some of those lines he was saying, I was just laughing hysterically to myself.
Cool.
Thanks.
Now we're laughing out loud.
But yeah, man, this movie's so freaking good. The effects are just amazing. I just can't get enough of the skinless dude. Jesus, his scenes are so, I just love it. You guys, is it first time watches for you three? Yeah.
Oh no, I've seen this movie.
First time this year, maybe.
Yeah.
So many. Yeah, exactly. I'll start on mine if everybody's cool with that. I just want to say that the shit that Clive Barker was coming up with in the late '80s, like Mike said, just his creativity has never been surpassed, in my opinion. The only person that can even come close, and he still has ways to go, is Lee Wannell. But that being said, this, like I said, just the characters and the gore, I mean, it's still good by, today's standards. And since we're talking about, the evil doctors and such, I mean, they need to make a ultimate Dr. Channard, because the original one, that son of a bitch, is way too much money. Tad, do you have that figure?
I do not.
Oh God, I looked it up because I want one. Oh my God, it's like $200-300. It's nuts.
Yep.
Anyway, back to our characters. Just it's good to see Frank come back. I mean, good to see Claire Higgins come back as Julia, which back in 88, I thought Julia was kind of a babe. The just giving us the backstory to Captain Elliot Spencer, who became Pinhead. Just that whole sequence where he's in that barracks and in World War I when he first gets the box. Great stuff. I remember very vividly when Christie is able to remind the Cenobites, that they were once human. And I think I was like 12 when I first saw this, and I wanted to stand up and cheer when they turned good for a second. I felt like it was like a, since I was a wrestling fan since I was like 5 years old, it was like watching a bad guy turn good, like on screen, and I was like, oh, you are fucked now, pal. And I'm just like, I'm getting so excited, and it lasted like a span of 5
and then the Cenobites were taking out like a bunch of little bitches. It was.
I'm just like, oh man, and it broke my heart, but I was so damn happy for like those 5 seconds. I was like on top of the fucking world. I only, I love this movie. I mean, I still think it's probably, in my opinion, the best Hellraiser sequel, hands down, easy.
I'd say the best Hellraiser movie, personally.
I'm with you. For the longest time, this was always my favorite.
It's really close. I'd say it's probably about a tie for me, for between 1 and 2. But my only one complaint about this movie, and I do want to ask you guys before I get to my one complaint, did you guys spot the Aleister Crowley photo in Dr. Channard's office as they come in through the window?
Oh no, I missed it.
There's a Aleister Crowley photo in there. The one thing is, I think that there is way too many lament configurations in this movie. I think there should only be a finite amount of these things. I think it waters down the importance of the box. I mean, I always was under the impression that you don't go and find the box. Your desire leads you to the box. The box basically finds you.
Well, what do you mean by too many boxes, though?
Well, you go to that one scene in the mental hospital, and you see like all the mental patients. They're fucking around with all these boxes, and they got the hooks in their faces. And there's just like 2 or 3 of them in Channard's office.
See, in the mental hospital scene in the bed when they're all playing with him in the beds, I always just took that as that they're in hell. Those aren't real boxes. That's just what they're seeing in hell. But I don't know. But then again, like when they escape hell, like everybody's dead in the hospital. So I don't know. Maybe it was.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, man, it's just you gotta make sure that I think there should be like maybe 2 or 3 of these things tops. Which is why there's only like a 3 or 4 Cenobites that it created. Because I think the box usually finds them because they have this desire to know what's beyond their mortal coil, what's beyond this world. Is there a hell? Is there what's your pleasure, sir? That kind of thing. But that's my only small little complaint. I just think that there was like too many boxes, and it watered down the importance of the box and what it brings to the table. But it's a small bitch, but other than that, this movie is fucking outstanding. I've always loved the Hellraiser series. Some of them just I wish would go away, like a bad fart, like Inferno, for instance. But we've talked about that. But anyway, that's my take on this film.
Yeah, I love this movie. It was always my favorite out of the entire franchise. I mean, one has grown on me more that maybe it might take its place, but I got to see this sucker in the theater when it originally came out.
Nice.
Yeah, I remember seeing it and seeing this movie and Child's Play in the theater, same movie theater, and I got ID'd for Child's Play, but not for Hellbound Hellraiser 2. So interesting.
You weren't young enough to play with a good guy.
but I was definitely old enough apparently to see like skinless S&M.
Skin getting ripped off. Exactly.
Yeah, just all the imagery in this movie is just great. This time around watching it though, can we say that this movie takes I don't want to call ripping off because I still love this movie, but I definitely feel there's some connections to Nightmare on Elm Street 3 in this movie. I mean, both movie in the real world takes place in mental hospitals. You have the quiet, mousy blonde who has the ability to take you to the other realm, and then you've got like the the dark-haired girl who knows what's going on and teams up with the one doctor that believes her. Now in this movie, that one doctor gets his ass fucking killed. But I don't know. I just found some connecting tissues there between the two movies.
So like the Tiffany is sort of like the Patricia Arquette character combined with Joey.
Yeah, and Kristen
because Joey doesn't talk.
And Kristen's obviously Nancy, but
yeah. I kind of see where you're going there.
And I was with you there too. Like I love that moment so much when the Cenobites, discover their humanity and defend Kristen against the evil doctor guy. But always, even at the time, just so disappointed how quickly they were taken out. Yeah. Like Pinhead has one move and then it's over. But at the same time, like. You say there's only like four Cenobites or whatever. I feel like there's probably been millions of Cenobites. They're just horrible at their job because even the doctor, who's now this big badass Cenobite, who's taken out the other Cenobites, he gets taken out super easily too by his own means. Like he sticks his little tentacle knife thing into the floor and ends up tries to pull it out so hard that he ends up ripping his own head off.
A classic dummy move, like a clumsy Cenobite.
Yes, exactly. So
it's his own head torn off by a giant, phallic, octopus thing. Whatever.
Spoilers for a movie over, 20 years old, almost 30 years old.
It's his head ripped off by a giant dickhead.
But I still love that moment when Kristen is it Kristen? Kirsty is wearing Julia's skin, to distract the doctor, and
peels off the face.
And that makeup still holds up because there's those little shots where, of Julia, where it's still the actress Julia, but her face is all droopy looking, like the fake skin is falling, and especially that part where she's trying to save the girl and the skin's just peeling off. It just still looks so badass, and it's so cool that transition of like the actress Julia ripping her face off to the actress Kirsten finishing ripping the face off, and it just looks so cool. I just love the makeup work in this movie so much.
But the most I know I forgot to include this, but the most cringe-inducing thing for me is when that guy's going off with that straight razor on that mattress.
Oh, that still makes me
so
cringe.
fucked. Yeah.
And the thing is, he he's clawing away at his arms and his chest. Did you see him take a swipe at his groin?
Oh yes.
There's a part where he takes a swipe at his groin, like he's ready to hack his freaking winky off.
Yes.
And I'm just like, Jesus Christ! I'm just like, I don't remember that. God damn.
Yeah, I know. I've seen this movie dozens of times, and it wasn't this last viewing, but the viewing before. Because didn't Joe Bob do this one?
He did.
Yeah. So I remember watching it on Joe Bob after not seeing it for years and catching it then. I'm just like, holy crap, the guy's cutting his wee wee.
Winky.
He's cutting the winky and the wee wee in Heckraiser. Yeah, this movie was one that was sort of like it was in the middle of like, you know, I've seen Friday the 13th and Halloween and a lot of horror stuff, and then you get to dig a little bit deeper and it's like, oh, okay, this one's really fucked. Like it expanded my horizons a little bit. You know, I obviously didn't see it in theaters because I was not quite 3 years old when it came out. I was two, turning 3 soon. No, this was one day again that I would like show friends, like come over and like, let's watch Hellraiser 2. And it felt like something you shouldn't be watching because it's just really gross, but also not just gross to be gross. It was there was nothing else out there like it that had the leather and, you know, I mean, just Clive Barker, just something completely different. And, yeah, there's nothing else like this out there, combining, you know, the sensual with the bondage, with the horror, and
exquisite pain.
Yeah, just it felt at the time like a big, very risky, very naughty, yeah, and this has always been to me my favorite of the franchise. Of course, you need the original to set this up, yeah,
and
of course the ending
sequel to the ending of the first one,
right. I mean, and that ending is the original is probably one of the creepiest scenes of the whole franchise with the face, you know, and Jesus wept, and then it gets right into this, and just the scene with the razor blade, the body coming out of the floor, you know, rebuilding itself, just gooey and gross, and yeah, just rad. I love this one.
And it's like the Empire Strikes Back of Hellraisers, right?
Yeah. Well, this time around, for some reason, I found that all the dead bodies hanging in the murder room really disturbing this time around. And also, one thing I'll nitpick is that, you know, when they in the beginning when they are going through when the cops are going through the house and the guy comes across the one body and shoots at it, but then he opens the thing and then there's another body in there, and so there's 2 bodies. But then when the cop reports in, he said they found 1 more body. Like, no, you guys found 2 more bodies. What are you talking about?
Stop looking too much into it.
Yeah, I know, but I was really fixated on the corpses in this movie this time around because they're just so realistic and gross looking, and just in different stages too, which is really cool.
I mean, my nitpick always when I first saw this, and I still sort of get distracted by it, is like when, you know, we see people without skin, they still have like ears and stuff that they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
On the anatomy, but you know, it's Hellraiser, dude. Like, there's no rules, you know.
Yeah.
I love the little subtle things too. When Julie is wrapped in bandages and just those little moments of blood, like either leaking through a bandage or that part where, you know, she's like, is it her or the doctor is like touching her lips and pulls the finger away from the lips, and it's just this little tiny thing of blood that is on the bandages at that point.
There was continuity about, you know, how the bandages needed to be wrapped when I watched the documentary. I mean, it was like they were really kind of anal retentive about that, to make sure that the continuity was right when they kept on shooting, you know, that the bandages were exact same place when they had to keep rewrapping her.
I'm watching it and I'm thinking to myself as an effects artist, it's like, man, how are we gonna make our days if we have to do her up in this like skinless makeup from head to toe every single day? Oh, I know. Let's wrap her in bandages.
Claire Higgins, though.
Yeah, I know. I know. Let's wrap her in bandages. Oh wait, now we got to pay attention to the continuity of the bandages. It's going to take twice as long. Hard to believe this is directed by the same guy who did Ticks and Amityville 1992. It's about time.
That part is baffling.
Wow.
Hey, I mean, the same guy who did Halloween 2 did Halloween Resurrection, so.
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, and
Just never know.
And the same,
Just never
and
know.
the same co-writer of the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre directed Texas Chainsaw Massacre Next Generation.
You just never know.
That's right. Okay, well, that's it for our discussion on Evil Doctors. But hey, there's still more show to come.
Good.
We're going to take a quick break so you can hear about our podcast network called the Prescribed Films Podcast Network. The PFPN is home to 30 different shows, including Podcast from the Crypt, which is hosted by horror fanatics Chainsaw Paul and permanent guest host Wolfman Mimo. Yeah. Two guys who love all aspects of the horror genre. Join them as they share their thoughts and opinions on new and classic horror movies, video games, ghost stories, and all things horror. You check them out and all the other shows at thepfpn.com. When we come back, it'll be segments time here on the show. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.
It's segments time on the show. We're going to start out by hearing from you guys, the listeners. Here's Jason with shout-outs.
It's time for
Shout-outs! 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 Shout-outs!
All right, we asked, what are your favorite horror films with evil doctors? And on Facebook, we got Lisa from the Bad Movie Bunny podcast. She says, Cabinet of Dr. Calamari. I'm just kidding. She's Caligari. I always want to say it. We got Brian Clark. He says, Reanimator, Frankenstein. Which one? Take your pick. They're almost all great. The Brain, Sweet Sugar, Bear Behind Bars, B-A-R-E. It's a crazy prison nurse, not a doctor, but the movie is so great, who cares? And the immortal, inimitable Blood Island movies.
I knew it.
Should have. Sorry. Then we got Tim Lennerer. He says, if you put Jeffrey Combs in surgical scrubs and have him go bad, it's going to be a good time. In the 1999 House on Haunted Hill, if I remember right, he doesn't even have any dialogue in the movie. He's just there to look inhumanly evil through a camera viewfinder.
Dr. Vandecut.
Yeah, very good.
Anton Fibes had a doctorate in music and theology, didn't he? If we're not saying mad surgeons, but just any supervillain with a PhD or two, he's got to be on the list.
Heck yeah.
And Dr. Channard from Hellraiser 2 also should be there as well. Running an asylum so that you can uncover the secrets of hell itself. No matter how many innocents have to die, that's not nearly as great as his rapturous expression when he's surgically butchered into a demon of exacting torment. And then Nick Leadham says, Combs was pretty fun in Hammerhead. And then over in the Facebook group, we got Casey Kelderman. That's a new attacker, Casey. He says, Brian Usna's The Dentist.
Nice.
We got author Derek Botello. He says, obviously, Rosemary is the best. Hear that, Justin Beam? Can you hear it over Dr. Sheehan's flute? And then we have our newest of all time, our super awesome new favorite attacker, Abram Kirshner, the Abster. He says, the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. Thank you, Ted. Sputnik. Thank you, Andy. I'm pretty sure he was the one who mentioned that one years ago. It was Jason. And for the pure creativity of the plot, Pathology is one I found randomly back in the day. Pathology, I don't know that one. We had nothing on Twitter, but over on Instagram, Unsung Horrors chimed in. And this is going to shock you, Mike, but she says, Dr. Butcher.
Yes.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
Right. Sadly, no voicemails today, unless somebody chimes in before I edit this. It would go here.
Hey, everybody. Attacker Brian again for my bi-weekly phone call. Sounds like we're talking about evil doctors this episode. Evil doctors. Now, this is open to interpretation, so you could go Reanimator. Is he evil? Is he just trying to be an evil scientist, doctor? I kind of go with Penn. Again, interpretation. I love Penn. The doctor, the guy, the dad. Kind of an asshole. I'm not sure if he's evil or not. Then you go with Dr. Giggles, the eyes of my mother. There's a lot of interpretation when it comes to saying evil. I like to leave that up to me and all the listeners. Hope you guys have a great week. Talk to you later. Bye.
You can always give us a call and leave one at 415-952-6857 or 415-95-AOTKP. Leave us that voicemail and you'll get your voice on the show. That's shout outs.
Oh, man. Just when you thought this world couldn't get any weirder.
Right.
Here's Recasting with Christian Slater.
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to another episode of Recasting with Christian Slater. Sorry about the sporadic episodes, but when you're dealing with drug addiction, animated characters, and people who have been dead for well over 2 decades, it's a little difficult to get people together. In this week's episode, we'll be traveling back to the days of disco, drugs, and for lack of a better term, dick. No, not Tuesday night at the Casa del Busey. And not Richard Nixon. Actual dick. This week we slaughter a scene from Paul Thomas Anderson's magnum condom opus Boogie Nights. As always, let's introduce our cast. Playing the role of Dirk Diggler, the lead protagonist with the ability to prolapse a rectum with a single pelvic thrust, is series mainstay Don Knotts. Say hello, Donnie.
I've had it prolapse and it's something you don't want. The only thing I remember before it happened was a bottle of nitrous oxide and a tire iron.
Another series first, you managed to step over Donnie's intro and managed in a single sentence to make the porn industry less sleazy by comparison to your own life. Congratulations.
I quit busting balls, Slater. Do I get a fluffer for this episode? You know, like in real porn?
Ask Busey. Playing the role of mentor and father figure to Dirk, Jack Horner, is the Prince of fucking Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne. You up to playing a porn director, Oz?
Are you fucking joking, man? What I'm doing with the groupies can't even be filmed. I'm doing shit there isn't even fucking names for. The Alaskan Pipeline? That was me, man.
What the fuck is an Alaskan Pipeline?
It's where you take a turd and you put it in the freezer.
Shut the fuck up, Gary. Reading for the role of Johnny Doe with a very limited screen time, thank God, is Gary Busey.
Thanks for having me. Now, after it's
reading for the role of Amber Waves and having similar color along the lines of carpet and drapes is Bullwinkle Moose. You ready to get your ginger on, Bullseye? Of course, my dear Christian. Everyone is in the mood for carrot crotch cake.
It's true.
On that disturbing visual, let's get on with the script. Exterior, Jack's house, pool area, day. Moments later. Jack is still sitting in the same spot. Johnny Doe is drying off. Dirk comes charging out.
I'm ready to shoot! We need 20 minutes. No, I'm ready now! It's got to be now! 20 minutes. Fuck it! Hey, Jack! I'm ready now! My cock is ready now! I'm ready to fuck! Let's go now! 20 minutes. I want to start fucking! Who's it gonna be? This reminds me of my first piano recital.
We can't even make it one fucking page, can we?
Sorry, please continue. What? Who do you want to fuck? Me or him?
Dirk points at Johnny Doe.
Me? What?
Shut up!
I didn't do anything to you. You're not an actor, man. You got no business here. You're not an actor. Yes, I am. No, I'm the actor, man. I'm a real actor. Shut up.
Dirk makes a quick karate type move towards Johnny Doe, who flinches, but quickly gets into a karate stance of his own.
Dirk, you need to settle down. Go inside, have a drink, man, all this off. You understand? I'm ready to shoot. Well, I'm not. I'm not going to tell you again, Jack. I'm not going to shoot you in the state you're in, Dirk. What do you mean, state? State of California? I know where the fuck I am, Jack. Wait a minute, are we really in California?
Please, guys, just power through.
Jesus Christ, you've been up for 2 days. I haven't been up for 2 days. Nevertheless, you look like you've been up for 2 days, so I ain't gonna shoot you like this because you don't look good. You don't tell me anything. Really? You're not the boss of me. Yes, I am. You're the king, huh? Yes.
Jack pushes Dirk away.
Don't you fucking touch me, man!
Dirk, honey, why don't we go for a walk?
You shut up too. You're not my mother or me or my boss. You're not my mother. You're not my fucking mom.
Dirk, please, honey. Reed comes over to the fight.
Take him home, Reed. I don't need this. No, I want to shoot the scene. I'm ready to shoot the scene. I'm fine. I don't want you here. Look, it's over. All right? I'm done. I'm ready to shoot. You listen to me now, kid. Don't call me a kid. I'll fuck you up. You want to see me kick some ass? You want to fuck with me? I know karate, so come on. Whoa.
Rage, Jack lunges at Dirk.
You are fired. I'm the biggest star here. That's the way it is. I want to fuck. It's my big dick. So everybody get ready right fucking now. True. Go slay to your cock, Donnie.
Don't you fucking dare.
You know, I am kind of curious myself at this point.
Notch, you pull your dick out and I swear to God I'll let Busey fluff you.
Don't you threaten me with a good time.
Start reading, Knots.
You know what? Fuck this. Fuck this. Fuck you. Fuck all of you. You're not my bosses. No one is the king of me. I'm the king of Dirk.
Dirk runs away, gets behind the wheel of his Corvette, and tears off, bleeding all the way. Reed, Jack, Amber, Scotty, Johnny Doe, and the rest of the crew watch him. This concludes our episode of Recasting with Christian Slater. And remember, I'm only going to ask you once more, and I'm going to ask you nice. Where the fuck is Ringo, you bitch?
Born in Decatur, Illinois, he began his film career in a distinctly Corman-esque style, directing a string of successful B-movies in Florida in the early 1990s. These include the home video cable hit Dark Universe and Jacko, as well as the cult classic Vampire Trailer Park. For this Insane Picks Hall of Fame, we induct director Steve Latshaw.
Nice.
Steve got his start directing and producing the late night horror host show Dr. X's Cinemondo that aired on local television in Orlando, Florida. The show ran for 3 seasons, starting in 1989 and ended in 1992. Each episode was shown on Friday nights, and when the second season began, that's when Steve came on board as a producer. His first film he produced and directed was Vampire Trailer Park in 1991, which is a horror comedy about a detective and a psychic that investigate a series of murders at a trailer park and suspect some of the residents of doing the killings. And those residents just happen to be vampires. He then would later start making movies for Fred Olen Ray, beginning with Dark Universe in 1993. Fred and Steve made several movies together while in Florida. Steve ended up relocating in Los Angeles, where he continued his career as both writer and director. With a filmography of around 30 films that span from 1991 all the way to 2012, some of my personal favorites include Return of the Killer Shrews from 2012, that I actually got to see in a theater with Steve Latshaw at the B-Movie Celebration. I am also a huge fan of Death Mask from 1995, which stars James Best and Linnea Quigley. And of course, gotta love Jacko from 1995, which has a slew of great people in it. It's got Linnea Quigley, Brinke Stevens, Cameron Mitchell, and John Carradine, 7 years after his death. The film also stars Steve's own son, Ryan Latshaw, in the lead role. As much as I love Jacko, the commentary track on the DVD is even better. It's one of the greatest commentary tracks of all time, hands down. It features both Steve Latshaw and Fred Olen Ray. And during the commentary, things get a little heated between the two men, to the point where Steve walks out of the recording. There are theories that this was all an act. Whether it is or isn't real, doesn't matter. It makes for one of the most entertaining commentary tracks ever. Steve's body of work are a staple of B-movies from the 1990s, and are always an entertaining ride whenever I pop one in. So for this episode of Insane Picks Hall of Fame, we induct writer, producer, and director Steve Latshaw.
Yeah. Totally partied with that guy.
We did party with that guy. And Fred Olen Ray was there too, and they were civil with each other. So I'm assuming that the commentary track was fake. It's awesome, though. You should really listen to it. Steve gets so mad at Fred. It's so funny. Anyway, that is it, folks, for another episode of Attack of the Killer podcast. I want to thank you all for listening. And remember, if your child is born without eyelids, and the doctor recommends an experimental surgery to circumcise your child and take the foreskin and make new eyelids, don't do it, because then your kid will be cockeyed. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you on the next episode of Attack of the Killer podcast. Bye.
Oh no, could this be the end of?